Morning, everybody. Welcome to Lock Pod. You're listening to the Midwest Most Dangerous Podcast, and you're coming to you live from the NECA IBEW Powerade Indiana Lake County Studios. Season 12, Episode 5.
Cinco.
Hey, what's up? Hey, Seth. Welcome
Good morning.
back. Morning, Joe.
Hey.
Jay Vez.
Hey.
And welcome to the studio for the first time. And
It's been talked about for years.
yeah,
For seasons.
like
I
300
made a
episodes.
cameo back in 2016 on election night.
Oh, that's right.
Or 2020.
Election night.
But this is
I
your
was gonna
first like
say,
official like.
This is my first.
2016.
2020, I meant.
This is kind of like your headline.
you have to
this
move
is
into the shop,
debut.
dude.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You're learning.
You have to pull up
the
right
tape.
there. Yeah, the tape. Yeah. But welcome to the studios, Chase McDermott. The,
Thank you. Glad to be
my
here.
oldest,
I'm excited.
my oldest son,
Yeah.
notorious CM, yeah, no,
the tallest McDermott.
Chaser.
There you
the
go.
chaser. We're trying to figure out your nick. You know Lindsay's nickname in here?
No,
He doesn't listen.
What is
what
it?
the hell? Why
What
do we
is
even
it?
invite
Because
this
he's
guy?
listening to rap or something.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
his way into work.
What's Lindsay's nickname though?
Notorious LMP.
Oh, that's wrong.
You've heard that, right?
Yeah, I have. That's
Yeah.
dope.
There you go.
That's a good one for her.
It is a good one for her.
Chase is a young lawyer, a good young lawyer
Well, I mean,
in the region.
young lawyer, whatever. You know.
I think I'm pretty good. I have a couple of associates looking up to me out there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he's the king of the associates. I don't know if you knew that. Chase works for a firm called Icorn and Icorn, and hopefully when he's done with that Lockpod today, he still has his job there. It'd
We
be
hope
great.
so.
Yeah.
No, it's a great firm. I went to work for Icorn at a law school, and Chase did the same thing. It's a great firm, and now Icorn, as Kevin knows, Kevin's corporate counsel for the city. I know most of our fans know that, but Icorn is our main law firm for litigation.
Yeah, they do a lot of litigation for the city.
Most of our local litigation, right?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
the
and-
heavy, like statewide litigation, we usually go down to Faegre.
They do some as well. I
Yeah.
mean, they do, yeah. Icorn does a lot. They're a great firm.
Yeah.
David Jensen, I've known for all 30 years I practiced. He's like one of the, I would say David is seriously one of the, probably the best in-court orators I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
He's
I've heard
so good
crazy
in court.
stories about him. I've had friends from law school text me. They're like, "Do you work with David
Yeah.
Jensen?"
Yeah.
I'm
The
like,
David Jensen. Your dad and I met when he was working at Icorn.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Yeah, we
Goes way back.
He's great. He's as a client, we've gotten to the point where he represents us now, which is in Icorn. I think when David's representing you on your cases, you're doing something
It's a
right.
good thing, yeah.
Yeah, so Dave, and that tells you how complicated our cases are, because
Or we're frequent flyers.
we are frequent flyers. Like, yeah, I got my card, my
punch
Icorn,
card.
my Icorn
Yeah,
card.
Icorn
I get
punch
free
card.
coffee when I go there. Every time I walk in, it's like coffee waiting for me.
The
Add
mayor's
it to the
back.
bill.
Yeah,
Man,
right.
this
Yeah.
is super entertaining stuff.
Yeah.
What's that? Sarcasm.
All right, bring it
It's a
in.
lowest
Vez.
form.
Law
what's
stuff.
it? What do you
no,
got?
no, because I know Chase is here not just by accident.
I'm not here to talk about my job.
This
people.
is-
Well, we're trying not to get him fired, so we're
We're
like
trying to introduce him into the lock pod. He's
slowly.
been
It's
out
like,
before.
goddamn, it's taken 300 episodes to get him in here.
You need-
Like,
They
who are we
already know
supposed
who I am.
Oh, maybe
Yeah.
that's true. Wow.
They do. Well, from his cameo,
I guess.
they're like, "Oh my god, I've been waiting 300
It's Chase
episodes.
McDermott.
He's back finally." After 300 episodes, they finally bring him back.
They follow your socials. They know the family.
They do know the family.
What? Let's do. I think I heard that you have some mailbag.
I do,
Oh.
but like, yeah, you want to do that now? Yeah, we could do that now.
Okay.
if you
Or-
want. It's
no,
audible.
bring
I'm
it.
in no rush.
Yeah, no, you want to do it? It's funny. I mean, it's a dude. That was a half mailbag, John.
Mailbag.
All right, let's go ahead.
I
And
want to. I want to do. I want to like introduce Chase, do mailbag, come back and talk about
Yeah,
why
because
Chase
Chase
is really
here for a
here.
reason. It's not often I get shit from. I get shit after the show.
You get shit from Lindsay
Oh yeah, always.
on the show.
Right, on
Yeah.
the show. But usually when I'm done with the show, the only person I have to worry about offending is the
Marissa.
boss at home, right? And usually 98% of the time I walk out of here unscathed.
Let's call it 90.
Okay.
All right.
So it's like 10% of the time I'm like, fuck, right? And I'm in trouble, like a couple weeks ago.
That's okay.
It was stupid, too. I didn't even
It's
have to
all
do
right.
it. I'm not going there because
It's last season.
We don't
it's
have to
last season.
revisit this.
Right,
You're
right,
yourself
no,
more
because I'll be in
trouble.
trouble
Yeah.
again, right? So the other day I get out
It's
there.
cringeworthy, Chase.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear it.
It
I don't
was.
wanna-
It was stupid too. There was no reason to even say what I said, and I just screwed
All
myself
right.
up.
Save Chase thing.
No, I know about it, Tommy.
Oh,
I've
God.
already been
Yeah.
talking our ish about you about that.
Oh, the steak episode?
Yeah.
Do you
About
have
the
a
steak and
separate group
blowjob
chat?
day.
Okay.
All
there
right.
we go.
There we
What
go.
was
Do you have a
Joe?
separate group chat
See-
without him? Like a
Oh,
separate
They
yeah,
do.
we have the
family?
Sibs. We have the Sibs group chat.
Because
and
this
it's
is
basically
what
just
screwed
talking
me
shit
in this
about
case
that.
is the Sib chat. But let's get into that in a second. I'll do the stupid mailbag
Or we could
first,
skip that.
Well, we already did the poop, that thing.
Stay on script, Kevin.
All right.
Can I show this letter because it's
Yeah.
this guy's got
yeah.
interesting handwriting.
Well, dude, I get sometimes I get the letter bags where it looks like they want to kill you, and
Yeah.
this is one of those letter bags. It's like this guy's insane, right? When you get that feeling when you look at the letter.
This is like a
I just-
kidnapping letter, yeah. Like
It's
a
a
ransom
ransom
note.
Like
letter.
cut out letters from a magazine.
Yeah.
Only
It's a little bit.
psychopaths write in all capital letters.
Yeah, this is all printing. It's all capped. There's no lowercase.
It's kind of a mix.
Oh, yeah, there's a couple lowercase i's.
Eyes. Yeah.
All right, so you're right. But I'm going to read it as it's written. Okay. To whom it may concern. It's to me, by the way, whatever. I am writing about my concern about...
that. To it may concern.
To it may concern. My bad. I have to read it as written. I am writing about my concern about Hammond School. Why are all the schools closing for? Okay,
Get this guy in school.
It doesn't make sense at all, and why hasn't the mayor step in and save jobs too? Doesn't the mayor care about our kids traveling all over? I see the poor kids every day waiting on the school bus in the rain, cold. Shouldn't that be like that? Shouldn't be like that at all. Another thing, why didn't Clark stay open? They need a high school on the north side. Whoever is calling the shots isn't thinking too clearly. Also, what happened to all the good bands that used to play at Wolf Lake?
All right, so let's stop right. What the fuck,
man? Seriously?
Holy let's stop right there.
It's like a shotgun approach.
Stream of consciousness.
This is a Drake Kendrick Lamar
Yeah, I think he's
thing.
deleted right now. It's the
the
season
fuck?
of shade for real.
He just jumped to it. That should be a new paragraph, by the way.
I agree. But John, is that the only thing you found incorrect in that paragraph?
Do you want me to finish it before we... I
Yes.
still got one more paragraph.
I wanted to maybe just comment on the first paragraph, which was he's complaining about kids in the rain waiting for the bus. I mean,
Yeah.
doesn't that happen?
Schools.
That's the wimping down of America.
Yes, no
right.
kidding.
You can't
It's like-
stay in the.
I didn't even have fucking buses, by the way. I had to walk to school when I was a kid.
Barefoot.
Dude,
the rain.
I had
Uphill.
shoes on, but I walked like a mile and a half each way to school.
See, so
every day, like...
So is everyone from your generation.
yeah,
Apparently.
you're right. But like now we drive him to school, and it's like a... It's
or
like
they
a
take an
given.
Uber.
Yeah.
I heard somebody I know that takes an Uber to school.
All right, let me finish this stupid thing, okay? Also, why is Hammond bringing in rappers that isn't music?
Oh boy.
Years ago, when the carnival is here, there was a good rock band every night. Well, anyway, I don't support that anyway. I always go to Porter County. They have good country music all the time. It's not like here's Screw Up. One of these days, it's going to be too late. I can see it coming. Also, I don't think Joe Biden will win the elections.
Shocking.
I think Trump will win it big too.
Shocking.
Thank you.
Bigly.
All right. Don't
Tom,
forget
is
the
this
PS.
a fake letter?
PS, hold
Wait,
up.
don't forget
No,
the
this
PS.
is. All right. I also heard the mayor may not run again. It may be time for him to move on.
Damn.
What a dick. This guy sucks.
Is that his name? What is
Sir?
that?
Yeah.
I think it's
Cersei?
code.
Yeah, I don't think we should say it.
I don't
don't
think
even know what
we
it said.
can. I can't read
Well,
it.
it's on the screen.
Yeah, I agree.
so
Even
no
if we
last
read
name.
it, even if we read it, I don't think it's given
No.
away. It was an anonymous letter that I got, but he says his name is.
I can't read it. It's like
Maybe if we write out all the capital letters, maybe it spells out another message within the
Dude,
letter.
that could be.
I saw something like that today. It was Miss USA, Miss Teen USA. They both quit. Did you
Saw
see
that,
this, Jill?
yeah, mhm.
And then Miss USA wrote this
Whoa.
long letter. And in the letter, you take the first letter of every sentence that she wrote, and it says, I am silenced. And she wrote this
Oh
long
my
letter.
God.
Damn.
But you take it, the I and then the A, and you did it all the way through.
I thought you were going to say it was like all caps like this.
No. It's like, and Miss USA and Miss Teen USA and the handler all quit at the same time, right, Joe?
Whoa.
Look at me. I know
Look
what's
at
up with
you.
women.
You're into
Okay,
pop
you-
culture.
I'm like part women. I don't know if you knew that.
You're
like
part-
what?
part
I got-
woman. Okay.
I
What
got
pronoun
woman
would you
DNA.
like us to use?
It's I'll stick with he.
Okay,
you know?
we'll go with he.
I'm traditional
him?
like that. He,
Got it.
him. I'm just like in touch with the
I
women.
understand.
Right. I'm
You
like,
are.
I feel it. I feel the vibes.
You have a daughter.
right.
Yeah.
Totally. I'm gonna start ovulating pretty soon. I'm sure.
Oh, here we go. That just lost you.
Don't
you
do
just
it.
lost
I
all the
didn't
women.
lose anything for Chase.
So about this
He
letter,
shook his head.
You lost me. You lost me.
I think my favorite part of the letter is years ago when
Totally
the carnival is here. He went from past to present.
Yep.
Six words.
Years ago, when the Carnival, by the way,
that's
Carnival. I
Well-
think that's South American. That's how they spell
Oh,
it.
he was talking about Carnival.
Carnival. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, I think what I like about that, John, is
Yeah.
as he was writing that sentence, he was like reminiscing, and then he was like bringing it to the present.
He was
Like,
definitely talking about the Charlie Daniels band.
Oh.
By the way, that was an amazing show.
I think he was.
Which
No, I think
one?
he was talking about earlier than that. I think he was talking about August Fest.
Charlie Daniels was 2015. You know why I remember that? Or maybe
2016, 2017,
But you know why I remember that? Because he was the first guy that told me Trump was going to be the president. Charlie
Wow.
Daniels. He goes,
And
"Where
he
are
gave you a
in-"
hat.
You know, he goes, "Where are you in the race?" And I go, I'm with It was Obama? No,
it was Hillary.
It was Hillary. Thank you. And then he's like, Trump's going to win. Yeah, God, I'm sorry. My mind.
You probably thought he was crazy when he said that.
You've been through a lot.
No, but it was like, I'll be honest, I was shocked to hear it from him. Because at that time, remember, it was like
July.
Trump's not going to win. It was
Right.
too much before election day. It's like, are you freaking high? And then he did one of these on my head. He took his hands together, and he like put it on my head like that, and then he sent me a cowboy hat. And it didn't fit.
It's a very unofficial method.
It was a very unofficial.
And then he died.
But I still have the cowboy hat. It still
Very
doesn't
cool.
fit.
This person definitely lives up in my neck of the woods.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Probably lives on either Carolina or New York.
Wow.
You
Jill's
got,
like zoning in on it.
She is.
She knows this
What
guy.
is it? Is it the writing or is it the?
It's the craziness.
Really?
And talking about Clark too.
Okay. Do you know which block? That would be really impressive.
No.
You're like, I think it's like
I
2400
mean, if
block.
it's New York, I can tell you which house it is.
I could too. I think.
If you
so.
could tell
probably
which block,
could.
I am impressed. You could look at a letter and tell which block and which.
Jill's like, these are my people.
She's like, I've lived here my whole life, Mayor. Yeah,
I know
com-
This is definitely New York Avenue.
Jill's like, I know complainers like this. I know this.
It might be my favorite mailbag, honestly.
It's
Yeah,
way
I'm
up
glad
there.
you guys enjoyed it.
Yeah, this is impressive.
I get letters in the normal course of business now, and I take them right to the show.
which we appreciate.
I know, right? It's just a little snapshot into the craziness I deal with.
But the fact that my people don't travel south of 129, so the fact that he's driving to Porter County, for some
Yeah,
music
well,
is-
country.
shows you how much he doesn't like you.
I agree. It's deep hatred.
All right. Well, thank you.
As
for that
he's
mailbag.
driving out to Porter County, he's cursing me and the rappers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Gas
rappers,
prices in this climate going all the way out to Porter. This dude
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
hates
He's-
it.
Yeah, man. Hey, Chase, the baby on Friday night. Chase is the rapper connoisseur.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
And
like?
lawyer.
You like?
He should bring
Yes.
some people. Yes.
No,
Come
no.
on out.
Seriously.
Come
Tell me.
on out.
It's going to be a young crowd, I heard, right?
Yeah, I guess. He's a pretty controversial guy.
Is
But we
he?
don't have to go all
this
there.
is quite the endorsement for your Friday
No,
night.
I know.
No. Chase
You
always
said seriously.
No, I'm saying seriously.
The baby
Like,
was very, very popular a few years ago. You're getting him shortly after his prime. He was very big, like 4 years ago.
That's typical Festival of the Lakes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I mean, people playing at Festival of the Lakes, believe it or not,
There's
they're
a
not
reason
in their
he's not.
prime. They're usually on the downside of the prime,
Right.
or they're on the upside. We
Right.
don't catch
We
them.
usually get them right before they're about to hit
Yeah.
or right after.
Right. It's very
which
we
is okay.
rejuvenated a couple.
Absolutely.
REO Speedwagon.
REO, I was just gonna say
Oh,
REO.
yeah, man. When they played Fest, they got big again. It was all
The
us.
baby will bring people out, but there's a reason he's not in his prime anymore. So short after his prime occurred is all I'll say.
What's the reason?
It was a short-lived
that?
crime, too.
It was a
not?
short-lived prime. He got on stage and started bashing
yeah.
the LGBTQ community, saying some real bad things. And I won't go any
Really?
further. And he also killed a guy. Okay, but we'll see.
But you did. You was like, I'm not going to go there. Kill the guy.
And then I went
Yeah.
there.
But
Yeah.
at a Walmart,
That's
right?
like your dad.
There's a
Allegedly.
I'm not
Walmart-
going to say his name, and then he
Yeah.
ends up saying his name eventually.
Yeah.
But like,
Right.
are you worried about the insurance aspect here? Like Kevin's always like, we're watching insurance.
We have insurance.
He allegedly killed a guy.
It was self-defense.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
self-defense.
It's his malpractice, not mine.
That's true. He's got malpractice. Icorn's on the hook.
Yes, they are.
Right. Well, anyway, so to get back to why Chase is here. So the other day, I could tell something was going on in the studio because Lindsay was salty with me.
Yeah, you
I could
two
tell.
were
More so than usual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
It was
did you
like real.
say?
It was real. I was trying to play the middle of this. Okay. I was like, I like Drake. I like his music.
Wait a minute. First, you said that you have more street cred than both of them.
I did.
Yes.
And I stand by that.
I'm with you.
What
Right.
the hell do you mean by that?
Well, no.
What
Okay.
kind of street cred do you have?
I live in Hammond, okay?
Yeah.
Which is street cred.
you.
But no, Kendrick
You
Lamar.
live on Knickerbocker Parkway.
in a rough city, by the way.
We gotta get
Via-
Chase
via
on here more
Napa.
I
often.
have more street cred than you do, Dad. Let's
You
be
you
real.
grew up on Knickerbocker. Thank you.
I grew up with the people of Hammond. You grew up in freaking Napa, sir.
Wow.
It was dangerous out
This is
there.
worse than Lindsay.
Napa. It is worse than Lindsay.
Yeah.
I
Are
know.
you sure you want him
It was a
on?
bad
No,
choice.
So-
I came here shooting.
So he did come in here shooting.
Just like
so
the
I-
baby. What?
Don't say that. We're trying to sell tickets for that show.
Yeah.
I thought that's a free
Just like-
show.
Yeah. So I was trying to play it down the middle, and there's been people that have influenced my choice of music. I listen to tons of music. Okay, rap came to me primarily because my brother Aaron, Pete Novak played a lot for me, and my kids. Chase listens to a ton of rap.
And we've had Pete on as the
Biggie, Tupac,
Yeah.
historian. Pete is like big in the 90s rap, okay? This
Nice.
is your role with Lockpod.
Right.
I'm not going to call Pete to tell me what's up with Kendrick and Drake. I'm going to
Sure.
call Chase.
Sure.
Right? So that's why you're here. All right? So I could tell you this, though. I didn't really know much about Drake or Kendrick, and I learned that Kendrick from my kids, Chase, Tommy, and Lindsay, Patrick, play Kendrick all the time, but Chase would be playing Drake all the time, and I learned Drake from him, and I became a fan, man. I do enjoy Drake. I enjoy both of them a lot, but I'm an old guy. Jill, do you listen?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you like them both, or?
I think if you're looking for, like, Drake has more pop hits.
Yes.
Drake's a pop star. That's what this is all about.
More
He's
musical.
cosplaying as a rapper.
It's like
He
music.
gets more play on the
Really?
radio because it's more,
Yes.
I don't want to say
Poppy.
radio, poppy, radio friendly, but lyrically, Kendrick Lamar blows him out of the water.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's not even a competition.
Totally agree. Okay. So this is where we were going the other day. John, do you have an opinion on this?
I don't like Drake.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
because?
Is it because that's cool?
I've never liked Drake. No, I've never liked Drake. I've never liked his music.
Okay. Kev? No opinion?
Indifferent.
Indifferent.
Yeah.
But
Not-
your kids also influence you on this?
They have all told me when I brought up to Aiden the conversation that we had the other day. He was like, "Dad," and Ethan actually. And I said, "Well, Mr. McDermott's on the Drake side," and they're like, "What? How is that possible?"
You're like
They're
misrepresenting.
No,
I'm
no.
like, I was down the middle. I wasn't really
Fair
on the
enough.
Drake side.
I said,
yeah.
well, but I think you were, because Lindsay got on you about saying good stuff about Drake, I think. So, yeah, fair enough.
No,
You're
I
down
like
the middle.
Drake. I
The
do.
boys all said you got to be on the Kendrick Lamar side.
Well, I agree. I agree,
Yeah,
by the way.
that's what
I
they
think
said.
that's why Chase is here. It's like Chase calls me up after the last show, and he's salty, right?
Yeah, I'm like, you're shooting shots at Kendrick saying he's not real because you say he doesn't have street cred because
I said he
he's
owns a
rich now?
helicopter. He owns a helicopter.
Okay.
That means you're like Trump. You're rich.
Okay, whatever.
So do drug
He
lords.
grew up. So if
Yeah,
for
drug
those
lords
who
do.
don't know, Kendrick Lamar
Just a
grew up in
baby.
Compton, California. He's written about this very eloquently and
Yeah.
beautifully and brutally in Good Kid, Mad City. Saying that because he's rich now, that he's not doesn't have street cred, that he's not a real one, is a ridiculous take.
Okay.
Because he is
What about
living
Drake?
his experiences every day and his trauma from that back then every day. Drake he's a joke, dude. He's a clown.
You never liked Drake?
No, I used to like Drake. I also
When
used-
did you not like him?
He stopped making good music to me probably like 5 years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
And then you just didn't like him? You don't like his old stuff?
I used to go back to his old stuff. If you look at my phone right now, you won't find his name.
Really?
Is
Yeah.
that because you're a
Gone.
Kendrick guy?
Yeah, no. Well,
You
I
down-
mean,
you- 'cause
I used
I
to
get
be
it
a
for
fan
free.
of R. Kelly too, Dad. I'm not a fan of Drake anymore.
I don't listen
You
to
know
R. Kelly.
something I found in like kind of reading about this, because I had to really try to bone up on it, and one of the things I learned was that there was a diss track from Rick Ross
Yes.
about Drake.
Yeah, man.
And Rick Ross has been to the
Yes.
Yeah,
to the
Festival
fest.
Lake?
yeah,
Last
Pat's
year.
boy.
Yeah.
So a couple years ago, right?
Yeah, there's a whole industry-wide movement. This whole thing is an industry-wide movement, basically to push Drake out of it.
Really?
Because they all see him as a culture vulture. They see him as a colonizer, and they see him as a cosplayer.
He's just like using people.
He's a white person coming down from Canada, acting like he's a part of the black culture and manipulating all these famous black people to
Right.
make himself rich and taking
So he's
their
like an
culture.
outsider.
He's an outsider. He's
Like,
not one of us.
I know that-
they not like us.
Right.
They not like us.
Right. And they're
There's a
saying,
clear
like-
line in the sand here, Dad.
They were Kendrick was talking about like all the artists from Atlanta and how
Right.
Drake would go and
Right.
basically use their fame.
That's
to
an
help
insane
bolster his
verse. That's an
credibility.
insane verse.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's
He called him a colonizer. Have you ever
Yeah.
heard the word colonizer used in rap music?
no,
That's Kendrick Lamar. He
so
said-
like, let me ask you a question, Chase. So like, as a Kendrick Lamar fan, if you also were like me and trying to play it down the middle, you have to like get rid of all your Drake music. That's like the appropriate thing to do.
I just see where this is headed, and I don't want to be on the Drake train, and I don't think anyone should be
So you don't
trying
even
to
want to even have it on your phone. Like if someone got your phone, you're like, oh, you're.
Yeah.
I don't want to be on the Drake train.
I don't want it to be
Like,
in my
that's the
head.
title of the show. I don't want to be
like,
on the Drake
That's
train.
it.
No,
Good
man.
job. Good job, Chase.
I'm trying to step away from that. I don't want to have Drake in my mind, even though I'm obsessed with this thing right now. But
let's
you
let's
gotta
see
step
what
to the side.
this is. Chase on TikTok.
Oh, hold on. Let's
do this.
Oh yeah, this is the first TikTok I released in years, just because I had so many thoughts in my head, and I've talked to Eileen way too much about this. She's so sick.
She's
of it.
like, please,
Eileen, your
please
fiancé.
make a TikTok.
I was
Please
like,
start a
I'm
podcast.
just gonna talk to my.
It
phone.
reminded me of Lockpod. Like Chase is like going to town and reminded me of.
Yeah, this is a 3.5 minute.
We're gonna
play.
I didn't realize it
We're
was
just
3.5
gonna play.
minutes.
We're just gonna.
And by the
play
way,
it.
you're supposed to be paying attention to driving while you're doing this. so-
I understand that, but I was just driving around the Knickerbocker neighborhood, so I wasn't.
In the hood.
Yeah.
The hood
With
of
your-
Knickerbocker.
all the
Okay.
street cred you guys have.
up once you mentioned
Whoa.
my family's name. Kendrick didn't take this to the next level, people. True. Drake did. But because he's so obsessed with being famous that he has to fucking take it to the next level to try to bring down Kendrick. You can't bring down Kendrick. He's too fucking real. He's too fucking authentic.
Wow.
You look like you're on the Kennedy.
That's
by the way.
Locomotive Junior right there.
We don't need to. You don't need to ask more questions about where I actually
saw
was. I may have been getting off onto.
By the way,
was that on the way to work or on the way home?
It looked like on the way to work.
That's on my way to work. That's why.
Wow. So you came in.
He's all caffeinated.
Caffeinated as hell. So what I'm specifically addressing here is that there's some people saying Kendrick's taking it too far because he's addressing all these issues that are not typically the PDF file issues. So they're saying that he's only doing that for clicks and likes. I'm like, no, he doesn't do these things for click and likes. He has information on Drake. And he released a song called 616 in LA basically saying, I'm in your house. I have a mole in your group. I've listened to everything that you're about to release. Don't, because I have all this information on you.
So Chase, so the interesting thing about this is I'm an outsider, obviously, and I'm looking at it. Kendrick started it with the diss track, and then Drake responded, right? Yeah. And then Drake responded, and his song is decent. I was listening to it yesterday.
Yeah. There's been some good music throughout this.
And then one day later, Kendrick responded with "They Not Like Us." True?
No, not completely true. It's even crazier than that. So Drake responds with Drake. So after Kendrick does Euphoria, which was his response to Drake's push-ups. So Drake drops Family Matters, which is the one where he's alleging all this crazy stuff like Kendrick's child's not actually his, that Kendrick puts hands on his wife, stuff like that. Right. And Kendrick already heard this before Drake dropped it because he has a mole. And the moment Drake dropped it, 10 minutes later, Kendrick drops Meet the Grams.
Damn.
And which is directly responding. 10 minutes later, directly, because he heard the song
10 minutes
already.
after Drake dropped the song.
So like the streamers.
You think he did it in 10 minutes?
He does have a mole.
No, he recorded it because he already heard the song before.
What about
Drake
the shooting of the security guard in front of Drake's house?
Yeah, I would definitely say not related to Kendrick, but
related.
definitely related to the beef. But what you have to understand is Drake is beefing with the whole industry. It's not just Kendrick Lamar. 2-3 weeks ago, The Weeknd, the singer The Weeknd,
who's Drake.
Drake has a huge beef with him.
So now
his producer's house got shot up.
Now that Drake's on the way down, do you think we can get him for Fest?
We need a Saturday night. We need a Saturday night.
He may need to get leave from his parole officer.
And Chase won't be there.
I might go to that.
Drake at the fest,
dude. That'd be insane.
Chase
I had him hidden on my phone somewhere.
I'm Team Drake.
Right. No, never.
All right, but we appreciate you coming by a lot, illuminating us. And do you think this is gonna accelerate from here? By the way,
think basically
this happened before.
I think the bars have basically been exchanged. I think Kendrick might respond one more time, but I think the effect of what's happening is just now getting started because the labels are getting involved. They just made a huge investment into Drake. They're trying to minimize this damage.
What do you think all the pedophilia talk? How does that work with Drake now?
I think Kendrick has evidence.
Whoa.
Of trafficking and of stuff
like that.
Like
us.
Oh, like a Diddy part 2.
Like a Diddy, bro.
Be careful. You're on
Allegedly.
the air.
I know.
Allegedly.
I think Kendrick is also putting himself in danger for
our
this.
opinion. I mean, this is just opinion.
This is just my opinion.
And like the front of the song that he dropped, They Not Like Us, has Drake's house with sex offender buttons all over the top of it. 12 sex offender buttons on the top of it.
Like scary.
Universal symbol. Dude. These guys,
they're not messing around.
Yeah. So
there's bigger than rap.
Thanks for coming in, man. Whoa, I'm sorry, Jill.
There's a universal symbol for sex.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's like when you look on the map and it's just like shows here.
Yeah, like if you're looking like for sex offenders in your neighborhood, they have like a symbol they put on that map.
Whoa.
And Kendrick put 12
symbol?
of the symbols. It's like a red dot. You'll
like
see it. Look at Kendrick's album and you'll see it.
Chase, who's Jorge Gomez?
Oh my God, George, that's my dude.
Oh, George, he's in chat and he says,
"Oh God,
I got the receipts. Chase still bumps Drake."
Whoa.
Is that
Thanks, George.
I don't know what receipts he has. 2, I just deleted Drake's music like 2 days ago.
George
and it took me like an
hour.
Thanks, George.
There's a mole in your
Hey, by the way,
listen to Mass Attack, y'all. Listen to Mass Attack.
Listen to Mass Attack. George is the lead singer of a great band, rap group,
Yep.
Mass Attack.
And our brother's also involved in that, so look them up. Mass
T3,
Attack.
T3, yeah. So Mass Attack and George Gomez. Good to listen to you. Thanks for coming by, Chase.
Okay, one last thing
Chase.
I want to say before I go is I'm co-hosting a 3-on-3 basketball tournament for my boy John Bach. It's going to be held at Bishop Knoll, and sometime in June I will post it. Please sign up and get your friends to sign up.
Thanks,
Thank
buddy.
you.
Thanks,
Good
Chase.
job.
Good
See you,
seeing you.
bud.
Yeah,
Love you, man.
love you guys.
See you, man.
See you.
GG.
It's good to have some
From young people.
youthful
Yeah,
exuberance in here.
Wow. Thanks.
So let's do some ads. We're going to come back. We still have Destiny coming on. Destiny Scott Wells, candidate
Say hi
for
to
Attorney
Destiny on the
General.
way out, Chase.
And she's coming on it after 8:10. We've got some local election news, some really exciting election news to talk about. Kind of like
Hey,
Tom and I smiled big time regarding this
How's it
race.
do
So
with-
we're gonna talk about it. Don't even.
We can preview it.
You should tease it.
tease it a little bit.
Spiros Batistatos.
All right, that's all we need to
Come
say.
back. That's all we
Do
have
not
to say.
say anything
He
more.
ran for office.
Don't say anything
Wow.
else.
Share this stream.
He ran for
Just
office.
Don't say anything else.
All
Let's
right.
do some
Come
ads.
on back.
Or
All
we're
right.
never going to get done.
Power in Indiana Lake County is your source for the region's most trusted electricians. Thinking of finishing your basement, installing outdoor security cameras, or does your business have plans to break ground on a new project? Don't leave important projects in the wrong hands. With IBEW Local 697 electricians, you're choosing the highest level of safety and reliability. Visit powerindiana.org today to ensure your project is in the hand of skilled professionals who deliver on time and on budget. Find your electrical contractor at powerindiana.org.
Rogers Roofing. When you want the best for your home and family, trust the best in the business. Rogers Roofing. Rogers Roofing has transformed homes in Northwest Indiana and Chicagoland for more than 55 years, providing quality roofing, siding, gutters, and windows, all backed by the best warranties in the industry. To learn more and to schedule your free consultation, visit rogersroofing.com or call 219-933-9145 today. That's rogersroofing.com or 933-9145. And remember, at Rogers Roofing, excellence is expected every time.
MCR Partners is your one-stop destination for top-notch expertise in economic development, finance, and planning. With a dedicated team geared up to tackle your projects head-on, they're your go-to comprehensive solution providers. Dive into the world of economic development with MCR Partners and let them guide you through the maze of opportunities. Check out their website at mcrpartnersllc.com, or for tailored assistance, don't hesitate to reach out to our friend Matt Reardon at 219-741-9511.
Elevate your brand with Misprint, the premier printing and sign solution in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. With a 30-year legacy of excellence, their experienced team, led by Rick Baltensberger, combines innovation and technology to deliver top-quality signs and printing, always on time and within budget. Conveniently located in Munster and in Hammond, Misprint is your partner for creating impactful visual solutions. Visit them at misprintusa.com to bring your vision to life today.
Cantrell and Cantrell, attorneys at law. Are you injured or in trouble with the law? Give us a call and schedule your consultation today with somebody who's in court and at the jail every day. Call John Cantrell at 219-554-4LAW or visit their website at bettercallcantrell.com. John and his wife Kristen make a great team and are waiting to hear from you.
Calumet Brewing. Michelob Ultra is a superior light beer brewed for those who understand that it's only worth it if you enjoy it. With great Michelob Ultra partners like Lionel Messi and epic summer events, including the Festival of the Lakes, Team USA Soccer, and the 2024 Olympics, there's no better time to crack open a cold one. Head over to Cal Brew or Michelob Ultra's social media for info on this great family of beers. Enjoy the Michelob Ultra lifestyle with beers and cheers responsibly. Thanks to our sponsors.
Yeah, it was great having Chase on the show. Thanks for coming by.
It's good to see Chase.
We have a rare two-guest show.
Yeah, we
Doesn't
do.
happen often.
Good point.
We got Destiny Wells. This is probably her fourth or fifth time coming on.
She's awesome.
She's going to be on in the third segment. So
We get to talk about Todd Rokita and Destiny Scott Wells.
yeah. So let's go ahead and, we had election the other day, as everybody knows. We were on election day. Kevin was working that day as he usually does.
Mm-hmm.
And
Chairman of the election board.
the results didn't surprise. First off, a really lackluster turnout.
Yeah, I think that was kind of and it's not like, and by the way, it's not like I saw somebody say like, oh, it was because there wasn't a presidential primary. That's BS. In the municipal elections last year, terrible turnout. In the midterm elections 2 years ago, terrible turnout in the primary. So we had like Lake County with 11%, Porter County was at 14%, Hamilton County 19%, Marion County 15%.
11% of registered voters.
Correct.
Whew.
So
And
89%.
not everybody is registered to vote either.
Good point. 89% of those that are registered didn't vote.
Yeah.
Notwithstanding people that aren't registered.
And then there's probably 40%
Sure.
of people aren't registered in the first
Sure.
place, and they should be.
So Indiana gubernatorial turnout, again, low. You know, they thought that
So
GOP...
before we
sure.
get into results, what's the cause? I mean, I know I have a feeling. Joe, what do you think? Why do you think primary results are so low in Indiana?
Well, it's not just primary ones, right? Like
Yeah, but it's twice,
Much lower.
3 times.
Yeah.
Primary is much lower,
I
right?
don't think people think their vote matters.
Or
Okay.
that I think people don't like to declare their party.
Well, I was going to go to John next.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
didn't know you were looking at me.
No,
So-
I mean, I think that's exactly what it is people are uncomfortable. Like, I don't think twice about it. Neither is, we work in government, right?
Yeah.
So, like, they're like, what ballot you want? Of course, I want Democrat, right? But I think regular people that aren't involved in politics and aren't involved in government, they don't want you to know if they're drawing a Republican or a Democrat. Especially, we live in a Democratic part of the state. So let's say you're pulling a Republican, right, John?
Yeah.
Do they look at you cross-eyed when you say Republican?
No.
No, but I bet you some people I think that's sort of intimidating. If I'm a Democrat down in southern Indiana and they're like Republican or Democrat and I'm like Democrat, they're like, oh, wow, a Democrat here. Whoa. Never seen one of you.
Blow
Come
the
look
dust
at this
off the ballot.
Democrat.
Yeah.
I think it's more intimidating down there than it is up here to be a Republican.
Great.
Yeah.
Up here, Republicans are taking hold, right?
There's certain parts. I mean, I thought it was pretty. There was some
Second
crazy
highest.
article that said like Trump's 78% of the vote, and I was like, that's of the. It's kind of like a criticism of him because he only took 78% of the vote, when Nikki Haley got 22%.
And she's
been
not
out
even a
for
candidate, right.
But overall in Lake County, Biden beat Trump 60-40.
But they're not satisfied. Not 100% of the Republicans are satisfied with Trump, obviously, if
Sure.
they're voting for Nikki Haley still.
Yeah.
But by the way, not 100% of the Democrats are
Nope.
satisfied with the president either.
That's right. So that's why we have elections, right?
What is the declaration thing? What's that about? Why can't
That's just the way we do it. I mean, it doesn't have to be done that way. You don't do. There's open primaries in other states where you could walk up, John, and you could, for instance, John's Republican. We all know that, and I'm a Democrat. If there's some states where, even though I'm a Democrat, I could vote in Republican races if I wanted to.
They just put everybody on one ballot,
Right,
like
nonpartisan.
in Chicago, right?
They do that in Wisconsin for all races. All municipal races are nonpartisan.
And
where
then the top two run off. There's a runoff.
It could be
then, so.
Democrat versus Democrat in November. But it's nonpartisan. You're not even supposed to talk about party, but everybody figures it out.
Sure.
You're like, I support President Trump, whatever. Yeah, I support President Biden, or I believe in a women's reproductive freedom. There's certain code words you can say that makes it clear which party you're from.
The other thing I thought that was interesting, it seems like Indiana just continues to, on the Republican side, go further to the right. You had what was supposed to be a really contested gubernatorial race, and yet Mike Braun, who is a current U.S. senator and very much far to the right, voted against aid to Ukraine, voted against, I think, aid to Israel. Maybe he voted for Israel. I'm not sure about that. But endorsed by Donald Trump. He carried it was 40-20.
Right. Over the lieutenant governor.
The current lieutenant governor, who was considered a moderate, and then she tried to go to the right for the primary.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
It was insincere. What Suzanne tried to do was insincere. She's in a moderate governor's administration. She was like moderate for 8 years as lieutenant governor, and then she went hard MAGA. It was so weird.
It was very strange.
It made no sense, and made no sense. She's a weird lady too, man. I hate to say it. Like, she's just
very nice. But,
really? She was never nice to me.
No,
she's awkward. Every time I see her, it's awkward as hell. Awkward as hell. And I've met her a dozen times, and I'm sure she knows me. Every time I met her, she was just like,
I've only met her.
You ever
a couple
talked to her,
times.
Joe?
No, never met her.
John?
No, I don't think so.
She, awkward as hell.
I just always think of tennis shoes and glasses.
The the glasses with the red frames. Yeah. I don't care about that.
No,
It's
I'm not
fine.
saying. I'm
That's
just saying
her
that's
look,
her
right?
look. Yeah.
But it was more like I would be standing with her and trying to talk to her, and it was just like fumbling through. So I come to the opinion she either hates me and doesn't want to talk to me, or she's completely awkward. It's one of those two. Maybe she hates me. I'm sure she does. But either that. But if she is awkward like that, I think that's part of the reason she lost. Because if I was the only person that had that experience with her, a lieutenant governor, 8-year lieutenant governor shouldn't lose 2-1 to anybody.
No, but that's kind of where the Republican Party is in Indiana.
Yeah.
Holcomb
Right.
didn't even go to his last convention.
How about this, Kevin? If you're a 2-term governor, successful, I think. I think Holcomb was successful. And you're a 2-term governor, and there's an open U.S. Senate seat waiting for anybody when they get done being governor, and he didn't even run for it.
He knew he couldn't win.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
By the way, he wanted to be a senator 8 years ago. He was running for Indiana U.S. Senate, and he switched to become lieutenant governor. So it's not that Holcomb didn't want to be a senator. Holcomb knew damn well he wasn't going to win. And if you paid attention to what Suzanne was doing when she was campaigning, she was slamming the governor.
Yep.
It was fucking crazy. You're the goddamn lieutenant governor.
8
She's
years.
critical of the governor's administration, and you're part of it.
Yeah, and the
was so
person who ran for U.S. Senate on the Republican side is another MAGA guy.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Anyway, other races around the state I thought they were interesting. Our Congressman Urbana, is going to face off against Randy Niemeyer, who's the Lake County GOP chair in November.
That's going to be a race,
the GOP
man.
keep on thinking that they can take the first district. I don't think that's true, but we'll see what happens.
Do you think he's going to get as much outside interest as?
Yes.
Really?
Oh, for sure.
What was her
He's
name?
a party. Jennifer Green.
Ruth Green.
Jennifer Green got tons of national money.
Yeah.
Niemeyer will get tons of party money, and that'll probably lead to tons of national money.
Yep.
I'm not saying he's going to beat Frank. I'm
Yep.
not saying that. But he's going to give Frank a bigger challenge than Jennifer Green did.
Really?
And Jennifer Green gave him a big challenge.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. And you got to remember, there also is a lot
Kevin,
of
I
votes
know
that come
that-
out in November. A lot more votes that come out in November.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think it's accurate what I just said?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
I
gonna
think
be
this is a real race. I think if you talk to Frank would tell you this is a real race.
Yeah.
This is Jennifer Ruth Green was a tough race.
Mm-hmm.
This is a tougher race.
Because you got the Trump-Biden
Yeah.
rematch
Coming with it.
here.
Exactly.
Oh, dude, it's going to be crazy.
Because he's running in a
Okay.
presidential year this time.
Am I going to be the one that has to say this out
Yes.
loud? He's also, all due respect to Jennifer Ruth Green. She ran a great campaign. She's a veteran, but she's African-American woman running in Northwest Indiana for a Republican spot. And I think that he's a stronger candidate because of the racial.
Well, I think, but interesting.
Is that improper what I just said?
I don't know if it's improper, but what
an
I was going to say
observation.
is
What's
this.
that?
It's an observation.
What
It's
I was
an
gonna-
observation.
right, but-
Yeah, it's tough as an African-American woman to run in a Republican primary, in my opinion.
Okay, hold on. What I was going to say is that I think the GOP strategy 2 years ago was to run an African American woman, thinking that she was going to pull
Rally
votes
Gary.
from Gary,
Right.
and it failed miserably.
True.
Yeah, so I think that was their strategy then.
Okay.
I think this time around they're like,
Okay, let
okay,
me
we're
ask
going to
you a
go with
question.
traditional Republican.
Who's going to get more votes, Jennifer Ruth Green or Niemeyer?
I
Raw
guess
votes, just numbers.
it's hard to say.
Not
because
percentage.
It's hard to say because I don't know whether or not there's going to be the energy in 24 there was in 20
Okay.
for the presidential race. So
I'm
I
going to
can't
say
say raw numbers.
I'll go on the number. I'll go on the record, okay? Because it's a speculation we're asking for.
Okay.
And you're not willing to speculate.
I am, but
Okay.
how can I figure out how
I'm
many
going to say.
tens of-
Well, I'm just going to tell you, he's going to get more votes, in my opinion. In fact, I don't think it'll be that close. I
Are
think
you-
Randy Niemeyer will get far more votes than Jennifer Ruth Green did.
But how can you determine turnout? You don't know turnout.
I'm
You're-
making
you
a-
want to do
I'm
percentage,
making-
I'd say yes.
I'm
I'd
making
guess.
I'm guessing it's a similar race. It's presidential to presidential, right? So she ran 2 years ago,
No,
right? No, it was,
there was
off.
no presidential race.
No,
yeah.
she was an off.
That's what
year.
I'm saying. He's
You're
of
right.
course he's
You're
going to
right.
get more
You're
votes.
right. You're
Raw
right. You're right.
votes.
I'm sorry. You're
Yeah.
right.
So, okay.
Hey, we were teeing something up there before we left. You know,
Yes.
we try not to talk about Speros Batistatos because he sued us, okay? And he's made it clear he's willing to sue for bullshit reasons. So we made it, we're only going to talk about him when it's
Factually.
appropriate. When it's appropriate.
We've always talked factually about him, but now
Always.
we're going to.
But he's a private citizen, right?
Yes.
So there's no need to talk about a private citizen. We just don't do that, right? But when private citizens put their name on the ballot and decide to run for office, you become a public figure.
And it's nice. And, by the way, we can also talk about the results.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when you run for office, you give up that privacy, right? And then people could talk about you because it's called the First Amendment. So let's talk about Speros. He ran for office.
Yes. Speros decided to run for precinct committeeman, which
Now,
is
that's like a
kinda
neighborhood
yeah,
politician.
Sure. Like he's supposed to be like your representative for the party within your neighborhood.
Right. So if you have a problem and you want him to talk to the party chairman,
Sure.
go to the precinct committeeman, right?
Get
how
out the
many
vote
run
in your
for that?
neighborhood.
What's that, Joe?
You have to run for that?
Yeah.
Yes. It's a party position, though. It's not like an elected office. It's a
It's an
party
important position. If there's vacancies, they fill the vacancies. So it's an important position when somebody passes away, somebody resigns, somebody goes to
Yeah,
jail.
like the mayor dies, or the councilman dies, or the, whatever. You
Or Lake
caucus them
County
in.
wise,
Yeah.
somebody goes to jail.
Sure, okay.
All right. So when that happens, the precinct committeeman fill the role. So it's important in that regard.
So Speros decided to run for Republican precinct committeeman of St. John, 16. So it's basically like you're running in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
With your
A few
neighbors.
blocks.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
This guy's got a name recognition galore in Northwest Indiana. Everybody knows Speros. He was the head of tourism for
Years. I wanna
30
say
years?
A good, better part of 20 years for sure.
30 probably altogether. His
Okay.
2 tenures,
Yeah.
right? So, like, people know who this guy is. And, you know, you would think that a well-known person that wants to run for precinct committeeman is like the entry-level office.
Entry level.
Right? Mm-hmm. So I'm sure Speros was successful, right?
Here's the results of
Okay.
Republican Precinct Committee St. John 16. Speros Batistatos, 56 votes. Ronald Scott Sweats, 115 votes.
70-30 almost.
67-33, basically 2 to
2 to
1,
1.
right? Yeah. So Speros didn't do well with his neighbors.
How does
But-
someone whose name is Ronald get this nickname of Scott?
That's
Ronald
a great
Scott?
question.
Ronald Scott, it flows, though. Ronald Scott Sweats.
So
An
not to
unfortunate presentation that just was.
Thank you, Todd.
be outdone though, Speros put his name on the ballot for another race.
Really? What was that?
So
Wait,
you said-
what? You can run for 2
No,
things?
because it has to be like
It's
delegate.
a party. Yeah.
It's like
So-
delegate, right?
Right. So, like you mentioned that this is like entry level, but actually, I think maybe even a
Delegate.
lower rung on the
So, like
ladder
in
is-
delegates, they have a problem attracting people for delegate spots. So, like, they'll probably pick like 15 or 16 people, and then if like 20 people run, they're like, okay, literally 16 of you are going to win, 4 of you are going to lose, right?
Yeah. So in this case, what happened was, and by the way, state delegate just means all it means is you get to go to the state convention and put people on the ballot,
an elected
listen to
spot,
party
Kevin.
speeches. Yeah, it's a party position, right?
Party position.
But it's below precinct committeeman.
Right.
Okay. So Speros decides to throw his name into this race as well, and the voters get to choose 14 people.
Well,
Out of how
people-
many?
Out of 15 ran.
Okay,
So you have like an okay. Sorry,
one
Tom.
person is going to lose this race.
What out of right?
Out
So
of
right-
15.
What's the percentage of your chance of winning this then?
I would think 14 out of
divided
15.
by-
No, but what is that? 90,
95,
5%.
93% or something.
Basically,
All right.
if you're going to lose this race, you're the asshole of the group.
So also think about it. When you're in the voting booth voting and it says vote for 14, I mean, most people are just like, I'm just going to vote for straight down the first 14.
I'm going to go
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right?
Yeah.
And by the way, unlike other races in Lake County where your name gets picked out of hat for ballot position, for state delegate, it goes alphabetical.
Right.
So like Adams,
He's the second down.
is going to go before Smith. Right? Or in this case,
number
Batistatos
two.
he's number 2
So, like
out of
Kevin
15.
said, your natural instinct as a human being when you're in that
State
booth
delegate.
is just to start clicking from the top down, right? And then when you get to the bottom, you're like, oh, shit. The guy at the bottom,
didn't
John
get my
Van
vote.
Proyen. Sorry, I used all my votes already. So, like, Speros is second from the top.
Second.
So he would literally...
People would have to literally like
Skip him.
see his
Go
name
out of their way.
and skip him. If they were decided they were just going to vote the first 14, they would have to physically say,
Skip him.
This isn't real.
I know
This-
who that person is. I'm skipping him.
Okay, so let's set the stage. There's 14 people are going to win. 15 people are running. One of those 15 people, Speros Batistatos.
And who came in 15th?
Speros Batistatos did. 5.7% of the vote.
He was the only person running that didn't get over 6%.
That is sad, man.
And he was second on the ballot.
Wow.
He was second from the top. Even if they started from the bottom, they would still get to him.
Yeah,
how
you're
someone
right. If they went
highlighted.
reverse, like some guys went reverse up.
Like, what, I'm
Yeah, that's a
dyslexic.
good point.
I'm
Still get to
upside
him.
down dyslexic.
So a tough day for Speros in the election.
God,
Has he
so-
posted about it or anything?
I haven't seen a
Anyone
post
know?
like he did for Off Square
Do
Brewing.
you think he'd come on Lockpod to talk about it?
we
be
could
a
ask
great
him? That'd
guest.
be great.
He's a
Yeah.
public figure. But explain your election results, Mr. Batistatos.
What was wrong with your campaign? All right. Well, listen. Those are the local election results. We had some other locals.
Yeah, all of our friends won, which is
yes,
nice.
Commissioner Ripe, Dave
Bill
Pastrick,
Emerson.
Bill Emerson,
Yep, Dave
surveyor.
Pastrick.
So yes.
All of our locals won. Which is
Reagan
great.
Hatcher had a primary. She won.
She won.
And
yep.
Dave Van Zandt lost to Mark Spencer.
Senator.
Senator Dave Van
But
Zandt. lost to
honestly,
Mark
though,
Spencer.
everybody is making out like, and I know that not everybody cares about this because you don't live here, but everybody's trying to make it out like Gary wasn't going to win against Hobart, and that didn't turn out to be
No,
true. Yeah.
Gary pushed. They have
Carried
some
the day.
power. They got some voting power.
Yeah.
All right. So Mayor's going to go get Destiny. We're going to read some ads, and we'll be right back with Destiny Scott Wells.
Awesome. I'll be right back.
Hey, before you do
The-
that,
the-
Kevin,
the-
is this
the-
true? Like, someone in chat said Indy Republicans elected a dead candidate to run in the 7th district. Does anyone know if that's
7th
accurate?
district? No, I didn't
We'll
see
have to
that.
look
I
that
saw
up.
something about that.
we'll have
I
to
bet
look
you
that
Destiny
up.
knows about it.
Yeah.
We'll ask
Okay,
her.
we'll ask her. 7th is, by the way, 7th district is Indy proper. That's against Andre Carson.
Something's going on with that.
Yes.
I did read something about that.
Bug Eye Pest Control. Are spiders spinning? Flies buzzing, ants dancing, pests stirring, ticks ticking, fleas fleeing, centipedes creeping, pests pestering? Are bugs bugging? Give the bug guy a call today to evict those unwanted guests. Call 219-810-7481 or contact the bug guy on Facebook. He's coming next week to my house.
Me too.
All right. Jill.
I don't have bugs at my house. He's not
Keep
coming.
reading.
He's not coming to my place.
Aren't
Uh-oh.
you something?
You're special.
In God's
you have
country.
you have weird guys that
Weird
write
neighbors,
yes,
but
no bugs.
For decades, the Ron J. Prestomer Insurance Agency has been your trusted neighbor right on Indianapolis Boulevard, serving all your insurance needs. They specialize in a wide range of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, and life insurance. The Prestomer Agency serves thousands of people and businesses throughout Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ron or Ronnie today at 219-844-0103. They're here to protect what matters most to you.
Byway
Brewery. Byway Brewing is a family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious tap room and an outdoor patio, serving its award-winning craft beer, a chef-driven food menu, and craft cocktails on draft. Their brewing equipment and production facility offers a unique backdrop for events like bridal showers, reunions, or corporate parties. With their new food truck, they can cater to your corporate and private events off-site. Just off 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Discover more at bywaybrewing.beer.
Tortillas Nuevo Leon sets the gold standard in Mexican cuisine across the Midwest. Look for their iconic red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón.
Are you facing legal challenges and don't know where to turn? Look no further than Kuklakis Law, your trusted source for legal advice in Indiana and Illinois. Do you need help buying or selling real estate? Call Kuklakis Law. Forming a new business? Call Kuklakis Law. Injured in a car crash or at work? Call Kuklakis Law. No matter what your legal issue is, call 219-671-6347 to schedule your free consultation. Who are you going to call? Kuklakis Law. Hablamos español.
Thanks to our sponsors, including our studio sponsor, Power in Indiana Lake County.
Ladies and gentlemen, repeat guest on Lockpod. I think probably 4 or 5 times at least you've been on the show, right, Destiny?
3.
Yeah.
3. Is that counting all the Skype? You've been in studio twice for sure.
There was one in the car.
Yeah.
4.
All right.
Yeah, look at that. And she's our candidate for Attorney General. She is about to get ready for the convention, for a big convention. Listen, and that's something I had a friend of mine just the other day say, hey, I told him you were coming on the show, and he's like, hey, did she win the other day? And I was like, that's a good question. Why don't we start off with that? I imagine, Destiny, you've probably had that question a few
Why
hundred
were you
times.
on my ballot?
Right.
That's right. I didn't see you. I couldn't vote for you.
So could you explain
Or
that,
I love
Destiny?
it. I
What-
voted for you.
There
Right.
you go.
Oh,
And I just
Ah.
always say, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You're like, interesting. You voted for me. So why couldn't we vote for you the other day, Destiny?
Well, because this race is a convention race similar to Secretary of State in 22. Indiana, Lieutenant Governor, Secretary of State, Treasurer, Auditor, used to Superintendent, and Attorney General are convention races. That means it's a party convention. So they are delegates within the party. There'll be around 2,000. I mean, there's slots for more, but we have to be realistic about attendance.
Yeah.
And it will be July 13th. It's a month later than we usually have.
Yeah. It's always in June. You're
It's
right.
always in June.
Not this year.
No, 3.5 months runway
Is that
this year.
That's painful because it limits your time to campaign for the November election, and it also prolongs the pain of
Getting to
because
the
you're
convention and
right,
running.
like another month before that you're-
Exactly. And so, we got all the hype going in June when we ran on the ticket
Yeah,
in 22, right?
That's true.
Yeah, and it was during Pride Month,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's when it really ramped up. And so the Republicans have theirs halfway through June. They kept their date, and we have ours in July.
What
And
was
so
the
we just have
reasoning?
to deal with it.
Do you know? I mean,
Scheduling.
yeah.
scheduling. Okay.
Wow. Well, you know what? So I know you're going to be successful there. We're excited. In fact, we were just talking about delegate races, right, Kev?
Yeah, that's so exactly what Destiny was referring to as a convention race is when you are a state delegate, you get to go down and vote for those convention ballot spots like the list that Destiny just gave.
So if I ran as a Democratic delegate in Lake County, that gives me the invitation to go to the convention in July so I could vote for Destiny.
Correct. And put her on the ballot for November.
Let me do a little plug there for Lake County Party. There are currently positions open. If you are interested in running, you can get with our campaign, email us. Also, you can approach the party leadership and get yourself appointed so you didn't have to have your name on the ballot.
Kevin is that party leadership. You know, working for Chairman Jim Weezer, right?
That's right. In fact, I just got an email from Michelle Feynman and Jim Weezer, our chairman, yesterday, indicating that if you are interested in being a delegate, they just need your information. You can request to be a delegate through the party, or if you are interested, you can also contact the Destiny Scott.
So that delegate not only could vote for Destiny to make her our Attorney General candidate, they could also vote for who is ultimately going to be our Lieutenant Governor, right?
Correct.
That's correct.
Right.
Whoever that may be.
Not sure.
I'm really, I really want it to be somebody from Northwest Indiana.
That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I haven't heard any rumors about that.
I saw Braun name somebody immediately. It was a state rep.
Yeah.
This is his preferred
first
candidate.
term state rep.
Yep.
Yeah, that we were talking about that, and we were wondering if that's like a plug to try to placate the white woman suburban voter.
You know what, Destiny? They pull that crap all the time in the Republican Party. They do. They put women as number 2, and then when it comes time for the woman to become the governor, they ignore. It's happened multiple times in the Republican Party, and they're doing it again.
Yeah, the other thing I was hearing from some Republican friends on Tuesday was that there's supposed to be a convention fight over lieutenant governor.
I heard the same thing.
Yeah.
There's a guy straight up running for it, right? Micah. He's Elkhart.
Micah Beckwith. He's a self-proclaimed Christian nationalist.
Is he from Elkhart or
no?
Farmer? Right?
He's like Hamilton County.
Okay, but like
no,
running for LG.
He's a youth pastor.
But like running, like campaigning for LG.
Well, he's trying to pull Diego, right? So remember when we were going into the convention in 22, and Holly Sullivan is the incumbent.
That's right.
And the
vice
chair of the state party. And Diego had been going around for a couple of years just really doing, the retail politics, shaking hands, taking photos. And there was a movement. What I had kind of gotten was it was a bit of, behind the scenes pushing for him to load the ballot up with delegates. And then remember that whole thing just went sideways. And I remember a Republican mayor calling me, walking out of the state fairgrounds that day and saying, "This is not my party."
Yep.
I remember when that went
Holcomb
down.
didn't even show up. It was the same day as our convention.
That's
wasn't
right.
It same,
That's
it was
right.
Going
It
on
was
the
the
same
same
time.
day because
we were getting texts about what was happening.
They're like, Diego's winning, and we were like, what?
We were all going back and forth. That was a big day.
The sitting Secretary of State lost in the convention. It was crazy.
Yeah, you were in the back. We were waiting to go up on stage, and I literally found out right before that we were going to be going against Diego.
And by the way, I mean, we were so excited for you because you were clearly the superior candidate. You were clearly the superior candidate out of the two. And unfortunately, sometimes in politics, people aren't paying attention to what's going on. And you were the superior candidate 2 years ago, and you are the superior candidate in this race against Todd Rokita. There's no doubt in my mind. You have more intelligence, you have more ethics, you would represent Hoosiers better, but you have this challenge of convincing Hoosiers, and I know that's what you're doing, and that's why you're working so hard.
Well, thanks, Mayor. And, the 22 race, I think having that such binary choice really proved to people the board and how it's skewed, right? And you could clearly see things that trouble us, like straight ticket voting. Still one of 6 states that do straight ticket. I like to use the anecdote of I like to workshop my message in the mall, usually at Ann Taylor. I don't know why, but I don't know if it's because it's in Hamilton, like in the north side. But yeah, it's mostly older women who are Republican. And then I'll say oh, this is such a cute jacket. I wore it on TV. And they'll say, why? And we'll go there. And I had this woman that said, I'm a Republican. I said, okay, do you vote straight ticket? She said, yes. And I go, and she'd gotten, we'd started from our commonalities at this point, and she's, okay with me. And I said, well, you voted for my opponent in 22. His name's Diego Morales. She looks at me and she goes, no, I didn't. I go, yes, you did, ma'am. But you're not reading the names.
Right. You're just hitting Republican because that's what I've always done.
Wow.
You're just hitting party. And so Indiana caters so much to the low information voter.
That's crazy.
Right?
Good for you.
But we put so
That's
much.
tough to say, though, because, That's tough to point out to somebody. You voted against me, right?
Right, and but in a friendly way.
By the way, I've done that before. I was in a hot tub one time.
Oh God,
That's a little different than Ann Taylor.
And
I was
that's
with
our show.
Ann Taylor, and Tom
No,
starts
it's
off.
funny. I was with you. I was with Kevin on a ski trip.
in the hot tub.
And, and I was in a hot tub, and this guy was from Carmel. And then I was sitting there, and then we were vibing totally, right?
Yeah.
And then he was like,
In the hot
he was
tub.
like, "You're a politician." I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "You ran statewide?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "When did you run?" And I clearly already established this guy's a Republican.
Yeah.
He already told me
Yeah.
he votes in every election and all that. I was like, "Yeah, I ran 2 years ago." And I could see the guy doing math in his head. He's like, "Oh shit, I voted against this guy." And I was just like being nice about it, but I'm just like, "Yeah, you voted
Yeah.
against me. Here I am." You
That's
know,
right.
that sucks.
Well, so it allows us to look at. I use the phrase, "Hey, it's like prepping the battlefield." I'm going to put my Army hat on. That's what 22 was. It was us going out, testing assumptions that we had made about the field, knowing which ones were correct, which ones were incorrect, and how we need to pivot. A large thing of how we need to pivot is traditionally everybody relied for those voter turnout numbers to come from Marion County at the end of the night. Those are not there anymore for a bevy of reasons, but we need to be looking at where we were able to move the needle in other parts of the state. We overperformed in Allen County. We spent money there. We were up on TV. We have the formula that works. We have to have the money behind it. Brought in about $1 million almost for 22. We need $5 to $6 million. And that's why I'm looking at fellow Democrats and saying, guys, look, this year is the year. We have tried to walk this in for so long. Democratic AG's Association has 10 states that it's looking at in re-election. 22 more were up. And that was the big year of the election, and now you're trying to take over elections. There are 5 states that have Democrats, and that 2 of them that they will be playing defense in because their incumbent is not running for re-election. That is Pennsylvania and North Carolina. They have 5 Republican states. Of those 5, they think they can flip 2. Indiana and Montana.
It's great. You're on the radar.
We are there,
That's
guys.
huge.
We are on the precipice. Like, I just need everybody to start rowing the same direction.
Good.
That's what I'm out preaching this year.
Good for you.
I-
I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Tom.
No, please.
Yeah,
Kev.
so I was looking at your website, and of course we follow you along, and just some of the things I just recently kind of were shocking. One of the press releases you had out was you pointed out that our current Attorney General Todd Rokita came out with a opinion that indicated that terminated pregnancy medical records could be considered public records.
So I've been on this TPR thing since it started, and that was over the summer of 22. I used to work in the Attorney General's office. I was a deputy under Curtis. We all spun off because none of us really liked working there, and we are in different agencies. And so, lawyers, state lawyers, chat, and we knew that Todd was going to try to get those TPRs and go on Fox News during the whole SB1 drama in the summer of 22. I texted, called Dr. Bernard. I said, hey, he's going to go and he's going to trash you on Fox. And because he was trying to get those TPRs so that he could have some evidence, something when he went on Fox. But his ego and his narcissism is so big that despite not getting a hold of those TPRs, he still went on. And that's what got him in all this trouble, are the things that he said.
Got him suspended.
Yeah, saying awful things about her. This has been going on for 2 years now, where he just can't get a hold of those TPRs as much as he wants, but he needs third parties to be able to APRA request those so that they then have a cause of action. And so what did he do just last month? He got up behind the microphone with Zay, right, in the 3rd District, and he told people, because the public access counselor, Luke Britt, said, hey, IDOH doesn't need to be giving these TPRs because we have so few abortions in Indiana now. If we let go of this information, it can be cross-referenced and you guys can deduce who maybe a child victim is. Right. And so, but Todd needs those right to lifers to be able to have those reports so that he can go after doctors. So he gets up and he says, for the audience, if you want to, take action, you need to ask for those reports. And when you're not given to him, basically, he said, you need to sue Department of Health.
Wow.
So call my agent.
Giving him a roadmap.
I call my agency friends like, hey, you're going to file a disciplinary complaint? Well, why? I go, you just didn't hear your attorney told the public to sue you, the client.
Well, he's already been in disciplinary trouble before, so this is nothing new to him. So,
And it's so weird. Like, any lawyer worth their salt doesn't ever get in disciplinary problems, you know? And this guy
Not
is our attorney
intentionally.
general, and he's like in constant trouble with the disciplinary
It's about
commission.
upholding the bar at this point, and he is setting a precedent, especially with young attorneys coming to age where they don't have to be responsible and ethical. And it's a culture that we don't want to overtake the bar, where people are in front of the disciplinary commission and they're doubling down that they didn't do anything wrong because the chief legal officer gets away with
Yeah,
everything.
that's crazy. Let me ask you a question. You know, I know your husband, Oliver, and I met both of you, obviously, a couple years ago when we were campaigning, and I follow you on social media, and I noticed a really cool picture of you and your husband. You know, Oliver's got a really cool job. He works in sports, and he gets to go to a lot of cool venues, right? But did you guys go to F1 recently?
We went to Abu Dhabi in the UAE.
That's what I thought.
oh,
So
that is amazing.
I'm really proud of him because he still has his full-time job. He bootstraps this on the side with another veteran. We've all served together for 20 years. Like, we met when I was like a cadet and he was a lieutenant and his business partner was a private.
wow.
Now
you're a lieutenant colonel.
yeah, and we all have all these kids and stuff. So it was a tech startup that they bootstrapped, and it's basically landed so far in autonomous race cars. So, you know, there is an intersection of sports and technology, our defense backgrounds, and that's really where they're trying to do business. And it landed us in the UAE in the first multi-car autonomous
Oh my
race.
goodness.
Very cool.
And they're like these Formula One-like cars.
Do they get in wrecks if they're autonomous?
Well, so here's the funny thing. They get in wrecks like on the wall and stuff because it's all code, right? It's like these engineers like fixing the code. But when they get too close together, they have these sensors that actually shut the car down.
Oh, wow.
So, you know, not to throw shade, they go fast. But during the multi-car race, I kind of looked at my oldest and I was like, this is a bit anticlimactic, isn't it? Because they just shut down.
Right. We want the crashes, man.
But it's really a league that's there to, you know, push the limits on what the human endeavor in
really cool.
autonomous vehicles.
Did you like Abu Dhabi?
I loved it.
Yeah.
It is very
As soon
cool.
as I almost sabotaged getting there, just self-sabotage, because I missed my flight
Oh my goodness.
by like 5 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
I get over there, but I'm telling you, like, the minute I got up in the air, I just like looked down at Indiana and I was like, Destiny, you gotta stay healthy. You gotta keep this in perspective. Like, you know, like, you just get so consumed with the mission politically. We've all been there that sometimes you gotta go halfway around the world to get some
Good for you.
perspective.
There you go.
Good for you. It's
Yeah,
good to
it's fun.
clear
Sounds
your
like a
head
lot of
too.
fun.
Yeah.
Well,
Oliver's a great guy. We're saying hi to him. I love your husband. He's a great guy. You got a beautiful family.
Thank you.
I met your parents, you know, and grew up in
Yeah.
a Republican family like I did, right?
And I talked about them last night in one of the union halls, and it was the best reception I've had over the last 3 years.
Well, your dad was
That's awesome.
campaigning with you
Yeah.
2 years ago. I'm sure he'll do it again, but he goes out there. He's a farmer. He goes out there.
He was like
proudly
kicking ass in
representing.
parades.
Yeah,
remember?
man.
He's protective of his daughter.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Great.
So it's great to see you again, Destiny.
Well, I appreciate it, and then also congratulations on I saw your daughter's milestone with
thanks.
nursing school.
Yeah,
so that's
awesome.
great.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So
Where can people go to donate? Where can they go to support you online?
Same as last time, we were able to keep everything streamlined. Purple.
I was going to say
Nice.
the purple. I noticed the purple.
I'm going to an event at lunch, so you know. But Wells for Indiana, FOR. WellsForIndiana.com is our website, our Act Blue. Everything's there. And I'm across all social media platforms and probably the most spicy on Twitter.
All right.
I told
X.
Lindsay she can pry it away from my cold dead hands. She's
There you
not.
go.
She's not running my Twitter account.
oh, nice. I got kicked off of Twitter.
I heard.
We're still trying to get him back on.
No, I'm not.
He's like
I don't
against
like
it.
I don't like Elon Musk anymore. But yeah,
It's not what it was.
I had so many followers. I worked so hard to get it, and then it's
It's a
ridiculous.
bad story.
It's a bad story.
We're still
I just
trying to get it
pissed
back.
off. Yeah, but anyway, Destiny, you're the best. I donated to you. I'm going to donate to you again.
Thank
Can't wait
you.
to see you in the convention win. And remind people, for your fans and your supporters out there, there are open seats to the delegation, to the convention, and you could literally vote for Destiny, and she needs those votes.
and it's a fun time.
Oh, yeah.
We had so much fun that
Go
day.
down to Indy anytime you go
You
down
like
to Indy, it's a
Oliver?
good
He
time.
got kicked out of a booth that night at St. Elmo's, and I was like, "Honey, you sat with Victoria Sparks."
Yeah, that'll do it. So anyway, thanks for coming back up. Looking forward to having you on again before Election Day, of course.
Yes.
Thank you.
So make sure you let us know when you're in, and we'll coordinate so that we can get you back in here, Destiny.
Thanks for
Good to see you. Destiny Scott Wells running to be our nominee for Attorney General in July, and then running in November to beat Todd Rokita, who's been mentioned quite often
Many
on this
times.
show.
The monster from Munster.
And you're in his hometown. I like
the
that.
monster
Wow.
from Munster. I love
that.
it. So anyway, thanks for coming by, Destiny. And another quality show turned into you by your LockPod staff. I want to say thanks to everybody that listens to our show and to our sponsors. And thanks to Jill. And congratulations on your new iPad, by the way. It's good to see you involved in our chat.
I don't know how to use it.
Yeah. So,
I'm struggling.
Jay Vez, appreciate you, man. Good to see you back. And Kevin Smith, thanks for hosting us and, lining everything up. And, of course, Destiny Scott Wells coming by and coming to you from Munster, Indiana. Season 12, Episode 5 is in the books. This is The Locomotive saying thank you for listening. And we will be back on Tuesday with another quality episode. LockPod is out.